We're to the section on fractions. So remember, fractions are our friends. Anyway, so, you know, a fraction, what do we have? Well, say we have a pizza, and we cut it into 8 pieces, and we eat one of them, then we have eaten 1/8 of the pizza. So it's a matter of cutting something into parts, one whole, into equal parts. And in this case, with our pizza, we're cutting it into 8 pieces, and if we eat one of them, then that would be 1/8. The numerator is the number in the top, so that's the numerator. And the denominator, so it's the top number. Or it could be an expression or something, and the denominator is the, you know, under the bar, so it's on the bottom. Or I think down denominator, if you have trouble remembering that. So the denominator would be the 8 in that case, okay? Equivalent fractions property. So if you have a times, oops, that doesn't look good. Let's start over. A times C over B times C. And notice that it's multiplication in the numerator, multiplication in the denominator. Then you can simplify that to equal A over B. And so sometimes they'll say you cancel it. Sometimes you'll see people cross these out. So if you have a factor in the numerator that's the same as a factor in the denominator, they can cancel out because they're just making 1. You know, we used to have a textbook that would draw 1 around it, and that's 1 times anything is just that thing. So you can use a multiplicative identity. So we want to simplify fractions. Sometimes people will say reduce the fraction, but it's equivalent. We're just simplifying it into lowest terms. They'll say that sometimes too. Also, you can build fractions. So if you have A over B, then you can multiply times something, you know, another factor. As long as you multiply it to both the numerator and the denominator, then you're okay. And so we call that building fractions sometimes. Okay, sometimes we call it that. All right, so here we have an example where we want to simplify, and it's negative. So negative 69 over 120. So one way to do this is to break 69 down into its prime factors. So 69, I know it's divisible by 3. 23 times. Okay, 23 is prime. I could spend some time trying to figure that out, but you know, you would go through the prime numbers. Does 2 go into it? Does 3 go into it? Does 5, 7? And do all your prime numbers until you get halfway through to 23. Because if you're more than halfway, then it's not going to go in, or the 2 would have gone in. So, but 23 is prime. So let me just mark that prime so you know. And the 3 is also prime. So. Okay, so now we can say this fraction is equal to negative. We can make the numerator 3 times 23 over, and then I've got to do the same thing for the 120. So 120, well, it's 12 times 10, 12 times 10. And then I can make the 12 3 times 4, and the 10 2 times 5. Now, a common mistake here is made. 4 breaks down. 4 is not prime. So you want to break it down into all the primes. So you have 2 times 2 times 2. There's three factors of 2, a 3, and a 5. And then you're looking to see, okay, is there a factor in the numerator that's the same as a factor in the denominator? Yeah, the 3. So I could do it in a different color. The 3, that 3, and that 3 are out. And then what you do is whatever's left, you multiply the numerator together and you multiply the denominator together. So in our case, we're going to have negative. Don't forget the negative sign. 23 over, and then I've got to go, well, it's going to be 40. So you got to go 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, times 5, which is 40. And that would be the answer.